Hey, just going to do a video on wheelchair racks on Can-Am Spyders, in particular on F3 Spyder. So that's mine, the lovely blue Spyder, and I'm going to talk about the rack that I've got there on the side that you can see at the back left-hand corner. That's my mate Greg's, the orange one. Stole my design off Greg, and I'm just going to show you some of the subtle differences between mine and Greg's, which may assist you in making your own. So Greg and I like to do a bit of travel. That's us in Canberra a couple of years back, and as you can see, both wheelchair users, so we need wheelchair racks to allow us to travel. That's Greg's orange one, same one he's got now. That's my old one there, the RT on the right, and that RT had a wheelchair rack on the back. As you can see from that one there on the back, it used to get really muddy and really dirty and covered in exhaust dust, so I had to get rid of it. So eventually I went to this setup where I had a trailer. Because I can walk a little bit, I was able to pull it apart and put it in the trailer, but found that too difficult, so then I changed over to the F3. So you can see there the F3, the rack on the back, and the big differences between mine and Greg is the little orange hooks there and the caster which hangs off the rack. You can see there 1 and 2, so that's some of the differences between Greg's and mine. I'm going to go through what those differences are as part of this video. So in mine, those 2 hooks at the bottom, that holds the wheel, and there's a hook at the top which you can just probably see there, and it hangs on to the push rim and the push rim only. So Greg's doesn't have any hooks on the bottom for his wheel, but he does have a hook over his rear peg, which allows his wheelchair to sit on there. So you can see my wheel into those hooks, and you can just see towards the front of it there where the caster goes into its little holder as well. This keeps it nice and steady, so looking from the back, it keeps the wheelchair from actually swaying to and fro outwards. So you can see there that it sits well within the area of the bike, so therefore it's not protruding and it's not acceptable to the wind. So there you go, there's where the caster sits into, and I'm going to show that to you from a side-on view in a moment, so you can get a better idea that that caster sits into that little holder and therefore it doesn't move one little bit. Greg's is a little bit different to that. And there's another picture from above, so you can see that the nice little oval shape where it fits into, and it sits onto the foot plate. So Greg's a little bit different. See number 3 there, that's where we're going to talk about Greg's, where it actually hooks his wheelchair over the top of the pillion's peg. So you can see there's got a little steel bit hanging up there, which allows the wheelchair to sit over it, and it doesn't sway outwards from that peg with that steel bit. There's a close-up of it, so you can see where his wheelchair that actually fits over the top of that rear peg, and the steel bit stops it from moving. What that does is it stops it from going back onto that rear light. So that's a picture there of the rear tyre on the wheelchair, and it has a little gap between that and the indicator light. So you look from above, you can see that that has a nice little gap there, and it all sits nice and neat. It still allows a pillion to actually sit on the back of the F3, which is really good. So there's some pictures here showing it sitting on. I usually use a couple of a strap to hold from the outside push rim across, so that's that strap there, goes across the wheelchair, just holding the wheelchair down. I call it my Justin, it's a just in case. And you can see there where the push rim actually holds into that hook, and that's all it holds onto, just the push rim, not the rim itself, just the push rim. So there's my hooks, and both bottom and top. That's where it goes into, and looking from the top down, you can see that it's nice and neat, and it actually uses the particular holders for the current grips that are there. Greg's does the same, so it's just a matter of getting some longer bolts to go into those particular areas where the current grip is. So that's a bit of a close-up there of how mine all sits, so you can get a bit of an understanding that it's fairly simple, uses all the holes that are still there. So yep, that's it from a distance on there. It's nice and neat, sits lovely. The wheelchair does not move. I've taken it for a couple of rides now. I'll link to those. So there's some links there that I'll show you from those, and also some links to some ones for a Riker. Hope you enjoyed it.